Hello everybody, this is Santosh Baliga and we are today going to do company law for CA until July 2020. This is a short lecture that I have today trying to explain a concept of annual return that is filed by a company. So this particular small session will be all about annual return. Okay, the annual return is governed under the Companies Act under section 92. As we all know, under section 92. So section 92 speaks about annual returns. That is one topic that we are going to do. Then we will do 94, which is place of keeping the annual returns, the registers, etc., etc. At the same time, inspection and getting the extracts of the register and returns by members or by any outsiders also. What is the procedure? What is this provision particular says? And we have section 95, which speaks about registers, etc., registers, returns, etc., to be evidence. That is the three main sections of Companies Act that we are going to cover. Okay. Apart from that, in rules of the Companies Act, that is rules, companies management and administration rules 2014 has prescribed some rules with respect to preservation of registers and annual returns. So that is also something that we are going to cover in this particular session. Okay. Now going forward, first topic that we are doing today is section 92. Section 92 speaks about annual return. Now, what do you mean by annual return? It's a very simple thing, that anything that has happened, any events that have happened in the company during an annual basis, that is during a financial year, that is from April to March. 1st of April to 31st of March is the financial year, and within this financial year, whatever events have happened within the company, those have to be reported by the company to the ROC in an annual return. So it is filed on an annual basis. The name itself says it is filed on an annual basis. Okay, that's the very first point. Now, it is an annual compliance that the company has to do, and it captures all the important events that have taken place in the company during the financial year. That's your point number one. Now, which company has to file it? Is it any company will have to file it? Is it sole proprietor also will have to file it? Is it a partnership firm also will have to file it? No. Under section 92, all the companies which are registered under the Companies Act 2013, all the companies which are registered under the Companies Act 2013 or any other previous Companies Act, that is 1990, 1956, etc., etc. Such companies which are registered will have to file an annual return. Okay, this particular return has to be filed with the ROC. ROC means Registrar of Companies. ROC means Registrar of Companies, and this has to be filed in a prescribed format given under section 92. This form is known as MGT 7. The form is known as MGT 7. So this is very, very important from the perspective of MCQ that comes in the examination for CA Inter, to remember the form of or the format of the annual return is given under MGT 7. So MGT 7 has to be filed with whom? The ROC. Okay, that's your point number 2. Now point number 3 is, who will sign this annual return? Annual return has to be signed, then only it is valid. Any document which is not signed is not valid. Who will sign? Who is the designated person? Who is the authorized person to sign this? Number 1, the company's director and the company secretary of the company. If the company secretary is appointed, then director plus company secretary, both have to sign. Both have to sign. If the company has not appointed a company secretary, there are some class of companies which have been exempted from appointing a company secretary. Okay, so in case the company has not appointed a company secretary, in that case, in place of the appointed company secretary, the company secretary in practice will have to sign it. So in that case, if no company secretary, then the company secretary in practice will have to sign it. Okay, so in the second scenario, a director plus company secretary in practice will sign. Okay, and there is a third scenario where it is on a type of company. If the type of company is OPC or a small company. Now OPC, we know section 2 subsection 62, 1-person company, and we also have small company section 2 subsection 85. Okay, both these companies will have to be, for these two companies, the annual return shall be signed by the company secretary if he is appointed. Or if there is no company secretary, then in that case, director of the company. Now remember this thing for MCQ purpose once again. In any company other than OPC and small company, any company other than OPC and small company, if the company secretary is not appointed, then company secretary in practice. Then company secretary in practice. But in case the in case of OPC or small company, in case of OPC or small company, in case of OPC or small company, annual return will have to be signed by the company secretary if he's appointed. Now, if he's not appointed, then by the director of the company. Then by the director of the company. So once again, I will summarize this particular provision that annual return has to be signed for all the companies other than OPC and small company by director plus company secretary, director plus company secretary. If company secretary is not appointed, company secretary in practice. This one is clear. Now, the class of companies like OPC or small company, in that case, annual return shall be signed by the company secretary, or if no company secretary, then by the director of the company. So, in OPC and small company, director will normally not sign if there is a company secretary. But if company secretary is not there, then the director will sign. That is the crux of this particular third point. Okay. Now, the next point is along with the annual return, there's a class of prescribed companies which will also have to file and certificate by a company secretary in practice. And this certificate will basically certify that all the rules, regulations have been complied by the company. And this certificate by a company secretary in practice will be in form MGT 8. Okay, so MGT 7. See, MGT 7 was for annual return, but MGT 8, okay, MGT 8 is for the certification which is made by the company secretary in practice. Okay, now which are these prescribed companies which need to give the certificate? This prescribed list of companies are basically all the listed companies. All listed. What do you mean by listed company? Any company which is listed as shares or securities on a stock exchange, on a recognized stock exchange. So any company which is listed will have to file annual return plus MJT 8, which is a certification or a certificate by company secretary in practice. Okay, very clear. So one is listed company, or if the company is not listed, in that case, if the company has a paid up share capital, which share capital? Paid up share capital of 10 crores or more, and or turnover of 50 crores or more. But any other company other than listed company, that is unlisted company, okay, but has the share capital of 10 crores or more, or has a turnover of 50 crores or more. In that case, such company shall file a certificate from company secretary in practice in form MJT 8. Now, one more important point for us to remember over here is that the company secretary who signs the annual return and the company secretary who is signing or giving the certification in form MJT 8 have to be two separate persons. Those cannot be the same. Okay, so this slide is very clear to everybody, I hope so. But annual return section is not yet over, it is still continuing. The next point is an extract of this annual return. Has to be provided in the board report also. Board report, we all know board report. A director is supposed to give his report in the director's report in the annual general meeting. So in the board report, there has to be an extract of the annual return also. Okay, so that extract will be in MGT 9. So see, we have covered three important forms over here. Now this is from your MCQ purpose. First, MGT 7 annual return, MGT 8 certificate by company secretary in practice, and MGT 9 is an extract of annual return attached to the board report. Okay, I hope all these points are getting extremely clear to you. It is very simple, but we have to understand it. Next point is a copy of the annual return. A copy of the annual return shall be filed with the ROC within 60 days. The annual return has to be filed with the ROC within 60 days from the date on which the annual general meeting is held. Now, very important to understand over here. Within how many days? Within 60 days. किसके पास फाइल करना पड़ेगा? ROC के पास. कितने दिन के अंदर? 60 days. From which date? From the date when the AGM is held. From the date when the AGM is held. Or if the company is not able to hold an AGM, in that case, if the company is not able to hold an AGM, in that case, whenever was the last date when the AGM should have been held, that is the last due date on which the company is allowed to hold an annual general meeting. So normally it is 180 days from the end of the financial year. So after the 180th day, we will the next day till the 60th day from the end of 180th day would be basically the period within which the annual return has to be filed by the company if no AGM is held. If no AGM is held. So where no AGM is held in any year within 60 days from the date on which the AGM should have been held, along with the reason for which not holding the AGM. Very clear? Yes. Next point. Penalty. If the company fails to file the annual return, the company fails to file the annual return. In that case, what will happen? In that case, the company will have a penalty. There will be a punishment. There will be a penalty on the company and the officer in default. And the officer in default. What is the penalty? Penalty is a fine of 50,000 rupees. Fine of 50,000 on default. And if the default is continuing, if the default is continuing default, in that case, the company and the officer in default will have to pay 1,000 rupees. Will have to pay 1,000 rupees per day till the default continues. Till the default continues. Okay. So I am hoping that you have understood all these provisions very well. Okay. So this is section 92. What does section 92 says? Very simple. Now fast forward, we'll revise the section 92. Okay. Section 92, annual compliance. What? All the events in the financial year of the company. Okay, is filed by whom? Every company. All companies which are registered under Companies Act. With, in which form? In form MJT 9. Who will sign? Director plus company secretary. If no company secretary in practice. If OPC small company, company secretary. If company secretary not there, then director. Okay. And MGT 8. What is MGT 8? MGT 8 is certificate by a company secretary in practice. This particular company secretary in practice cannot be the same as the company secretary who has signed on the annual return. I hope this is clear. Okay. The next point was an extract of the annual return shall be attached with the board report in form MJT 9. In form MJT 9. Sorry. The copy of the annual return shall be filed with the ROC within 60 days from the date on which the annual general meeting is held. Okay. If the annual general meeting is not held, this point, the 60 days from the date of which the annual general meeting is held, and if annual general meeting is not held, this is very important from the examination point of view. In case studies, we will get this kind of questions. Okay. So, coming back to our topic, that is penalty. Last point was penalty. If they fail, then penalty of 50,000 rupees and 1,000 rupees for continuing default. Okay, I hope this much is clear. Last point is a copy of annual return along with certificates and documents to be preserved for 8 years from the date of filing of annual return. Okay, now this was section 92. I hope section 92 is extremely clear to all of you. Okay, next is section 94. Now what do you mean by section 94? Section 94 speaks about place where the registers and returns have to be maintained, have to be kept. Okay, have to be maintained, have to be kept, and also speaks about inspection of registers and returns. So there are two parts to section 94. One is about place and the other is about inspection of registers and returns. Okay. Now in the first part, in the very first part of that is section 94 speaks about place. Normally a company has to keep its registers and returns at the registered office of the company. At the registered office of the company. But in case, now this is important for case study purpose, okay? In case the company wants to keep it any other place, at any other place, then the company has to first pass a special resolution, pass a special resolution, plus very, very important, please listen to this carefully. At least 1/10 of the, that is 10% of the total members of the company should be residing at such place where you're going to, where you're proposing to keep your register returns other than the registered office. So at least 1/10 of your members should be living or residing at such place. Okay, I hope you have understood this point. So after this, the other part is about inspection. Now inspection is of two types. One is normal inspection, other is you want a copy of the extracts also. You want a copy of the extracts also. There are two types. One is inspection. You can go and inspect the register or returns. And the other is you would require some copies or extracts of the returns or registers. Both the provisions have been made under section 94. Now what does section 94 say over here is that any registers or indices and copies of annual return shall be available for inspection during business hours. During which hours? During business hours. Very, very important very, very important keyword is business hours. At such reasonable time, at such reasonable time, on every working day, as the board may decide. Now, who will decide over here? Board will decide. What the board will decide? Only thing that the board can decide over here is reasonable time. That board might decide 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. But every working hour, every working day and business hours is what is provided in the law itself. Okay, so this is for inspection purpose. Inspection can be done by members, debenture holders, any security holder or beneficial owner without any payment of fees. So whoever is the member, debenture holder or security holder or a beneficial owner, they do not have to pay any amount for inspection purpose. Okay, but any third person, that is outside the company, any person, other person, that person will have to pay a fees of not exceeding 50 rupees for each inspection. Okay, so this is the point number one, that which speaks about inspection. Now point number two speaks about extracts or copies that you require. In case a member, debenture holder, security holder or beneficial owner wants extracts, wants extracts, then such person can take extracts without payment of fees, or copies with payment of fees. So extracts are free, but copies, if you require copy, then in that case you'll have to pay not exceeding 10 rupees, up to 10 rupees per page, up to 10 rupees per page, whatever is decided by the board. Okay, and such copies, once an application is made with the prescribed fees paid by the member or debenture holder or security holder or beneficial owner, then such copies shall be supplied within 7 days. I hope this point is also clear. This is section 94. Section 94 speaks, now just summarize. Section 94 speaks about place of keeping registers and returns, where registered office. Exception, at any other place where at least 1/10 of the members reside, with a special resolution. With a special resolution. Inspection, members, debenture holders, other security holders or beneficial owner without any fees. Without any fees. कब मिलेगा? When? During the business hours, on every working day, at a reasonable time as decided by the board. Okay. If you want extracts, no payment of fees. If you want copies, then up to rupees 10. Up to rupees 10 per page. Okay, per page. Now, the copies, once the application is ready, the copy shall be supplied to such particular requesting member within 7 days. Okay, by the company. Okay, this is section 94. Now, section 95 is speaking. It is only one line section. It speaks that the registers and returns of the company maintained by the company are evidence, are prima facie evidence for whatever reasons they have maintained the same. Okay, section 95. Now one more important thing that we have to do is that preservation. This is the rules that has been provided under companies management and administration rules 2014. What does this say? This says that preservation of register of members, etc., and annual return. Now registers, I will bifurcate or classify registers into two types of registers. Okay, one is Indian register, other is foreign register. Within this also there are two classifications. One is register of members which are maintained separately, and register of debenture holders or other security holders. This we had studied properly under section 88. Whoever doesn't know is can go to section 88 and check it out. Okay. Now remember one thing: the register of members have to be maintained permanently. The register of members have to be maintained permanently. The register of debenture holders or security holders has to be maintained for 8 years. From which date? From the date of redemption. From the date of redemption. This is clear. Similar it is for foreign register also. Register of members shall be maintained permanently till the point of time that the foreign place is continued by the company. Whenever it is discontinued, the register of members will also be discontinued over there, or till the date when the entries are transferred to other foreign register or principal register. Okay. Then register of debenture holders, same, no change over here. 8 years from the date of redemption. 8 years from the date of redemption. Okay. Now, the last point that I have put over here is the same point which was there in the first slide that was of section 92. What does it say? Copy of annual return. Copy of annual return with all the documents, certificates, etc. shall be preserved for 8 years from the date of filing with the ROC. 8 years from the date of filing with the ROC. Okay. So this particular rule is very clear to everybody. Very simple rule. Register of members permanent. Register of debenture holders, other security holders, 8 years from the date of redemption of debentures. Any annual return along with the documents and certificates 8 years from the date of filing with the ROC. So this table will make it very simpler for you. Just go through this table, just take a photo or just take a click or just write it on a book that you are in which you are making notes for the same. Okay. Now this is an annual return. This you will not find in any module or any notes also. This is a format which I have shown you is of a form MGT7. What is MGT7? It is annual return. So this is how an annual return looks like normally. Okay, this is just a format. This is not a pre-filled format as such of any company. Okay, this will find on any website basically. This form MGT7 annual return as on the financial. So it is of a financial year. Okay, now the name of the company, whether it is private limited company or limited company. Okay, and it is as per pursuant to section 92 subsection 1. We have covered section 92 already, and we have covered the rules also. Which rules is applicable over here? Companies Management and Administration Rules 2014. Okay, now whenever you want to remember the rules, you will say what these rules, this big name of rules are there. Why should we do it? How should we do it? Simple. Rules are always companies rules, and in the bracket it will always be the name of the chapter. Okay, what is the name of this chapter? Management and Administration. So the rules applicable to this particular chapter is Companies Management and Administration Rules 2014, and all the details of the company, all the events which have happened within the company in the last financial year will be displayed over here, will be given over here by the company. Okay, this is the format of and form MJT7. This is not important for examination purpose, but you should know how the MJT7 looks like. Okay, so that is why I have put it over here. I hope now section 92, section 93, section 95 and preservation of rules is extremely clear to all of you. Okay, so this was a short session that I had today. I would be coming up with more videos from section 96 to section 122 next, which will cover all the meetings provisions. Okay, till then, thanks a lot. Please subscribe to the channel and share this particular video as much as possible. Thanks a lot.